Alright guys, welcome to Custom OGT. I am OGL Schmitt. Weekend is just about over, so I hope everyone's had a great weekend, is ready to get back into the grind. It is time for another channel member request. The way this works is if you join the OGTeam for as little as $2 a month, you get 2 requests you can make. We will get those reactions out as soon as possible. Audiva here always gives us interesting songs to react to. She has selected Haunting by a band called Silver Fang. Silver Fang, I believe, is Australian, and they recently had a kind of a scare come about because their production company, or their distribution company, dropped the ball and released their album like a day late. That may not seem like much, but things like that do mean a lot in music, especially when you're an indie band. So, yeah, let's dive into Haunting by Silver Fang. Yeah, I can't not talk about that. So, really cool atmospherics in the intro. I'm guessing that was a clean guitar with maybe some echo on it. There was some, like, whispered or, like, fragmented vocals thrown in there. And then when her voice came in, there was, like, a double. I'm guessing they were both her. So there was, like, a really nice ethereal head voice there, high voice. And like her low was really strong, very a solid low range for a young lady. Then when business picked up, yeah, her belt had that grit in it, and was like she has the kind of belt where, like, I'm sure she's doing it healthily. At least I hope so. It's gonna be, if not, it'll be a short career. But like, she knows how to add that grit without destroying her vocal cords, but it still sounds pained and painful. And I loved just how everything dropped out before this part hit. And I like the big spaces in between that are just filled by her just roaring. Her voice kind of reminds me of Danny from The Warning, really, because it's got that grit and that power in it. So, wow. Awesome first impression. So let's keep going.
Won't you bury me and make believe? Watch me cling to the fantasies I hide from myself. This coward's lie, this crumbling skies, I rot on the inside. I can feel you crying, right goes my haunting. Sure as God, my spine coming like a
So let's give some props to the drummer here. He is great with allowing, space for the song to sort of hover in time where you build anticipation. And like his fills are really powerful, really well executed. And when he moves the song along, it's got almost a kind of a marching feel to it, but with this like pent up energy, like you feel like it's going to break into a sprint at any moment. I am really impressed by this young lady's voice. Like we got the softer ethereal side first, and we got her big gritty belt. But then she goes into sort of like an in-between spot there, where her voice is strong, but it doesn't quite have that grit. There's almost like a desperation to it. And it's got that same kind of beauty that she had when she was in the softer register. That reminds me of Simone from Epica, who just keeps that pure, beautiful sound no matter how strong she's belting. So I like how this young lady has the... I keep calling her this young lady. I need to check names on this. Probably should have researched this more. But yeah, she's definitely the star of the show here. But the band is definitely pulling their weight in creating an atmosphere. It does kind of feel like walking through a dark forest at night and, like maybe being chased by some kind of predatory animal, or maybe prowling a dark forest being overtaken by the spirit of a predatory animal. Not sure. I should probably look up the lyrics as well. But yeah, musically, I really like this. This actually does sort of remind me of some of what was called gothic metal I listened to back in the late 90s. That was kind of the predecessor to symphonic metal. Theater of Tragedy, Tristania. There's some echoes of recent Battle War in their sound too. If you guys have any idea what I'm talking about as far as those bands, shout it out in the comments. That would be awesome if you've heard of any of those bands. But yeah, loving their sound so far. Let's keep going. And she just unveiled another gear vocally. That is the escalation from her gritty belt. Just full-on harsh vocals there. What was kind of cool about that, also apparently she's singing from the upside down. Literally. Maybe she is the predatory animal in the woods and she was caught by a hunter. Sort of like hanging from a tree. I don't know. I always... Ooh, wait. Those look like pills there? Interesting. Station identification, one moment. Okay, so let's take care of a couple of things here. Silver Fang is Stephanie Jessica Rose on vocals and synths. Jessie Abdurazak on guitar. He also does production. And Luke Sullivan on bass. And Sarah Cretu on drums. Female drummer. That's rare, but becoming more popular, so that's awesome. My mother and my sister are both named Rose. Lady I work with is named Rose. My life is a rose garden, basically. But no, she is so impressive. If you watch that last segment where she's doing the harsh vocals, watch her mouth. because I didn't realize this. It wasn't until Charismatic Voice did like vocal research on how those sounds were created. That is all about mouth shape and like tongue position. That is how those sounds are created and varied. Because she like had really good enunciation in that, which is rare. It's interesting to go back in time if you listen to death metal from like 91 or something like that, and the harsh vocals there, and see how both the music and the vocal style have evolved, which is crazy because like you hear that back then and it was just so primordial, and you're like, oh my god, this there's no way this could last, and it's still around and has evolved and has produced bands like Silver Fang who are able to take that and make it a part of a genreless sound, because there was some of the atmospherics there. I mentioned that she also plays synths. There was like this sort of droning chord sound that really gave the whole thing a spooky feel. You really didn't notice it. It didn't jump out, but if it was gone, I think you would definitely notice its absence. And the bass just sort of had this creeping feeling to it. I think they probably downtune their guitars a lot because it was kind of hard to differentiate between the bass and the guitar, but it did produce this deep primordial sound. So yeah, I really like this band's approach. So Audiva, Silver Fang fans, man, you want to talk about barking at the moon? Wow, but yeah, just suggest some more stuff from this band, or bands like them. This was a very pleasant surprise. Thank you, Audiva. I'm not saying I was expecting it to be bad, but like I really enjoyed this. This is right in my wheelhouse. So thank you guys very much. Guys, mental health is real. Be a part of the start. Quite all right to bark at the moon or howl at the moon sometimes when you feel like it. Music is your best support group. Listen to it whenever you can. And I wanted to mention one more thing. The lyrics of this definitely felt like an inner monologue, dealing with the shadow, the dark side, because it sounded like there's a voice there saying, "Oh my God, I'm so disgusted to share this skin with you." That's how that thing works. It tells you that you're worthless, that you can't function without it, and like that voice, that dark aspect, it can be useful. It can be weaponized, but you can't give it control. It's kind of like having an actual wolf as a pet. It's always going to challenge you. It's always going to have its own mindset. So you have to learn to deal with those things. Not that I'm suggesting anyone have an actual wolf for a pet. That probably will not end well. Anyway, mental health is real. Part of the start. Music is your best support group. Take care of yourself so you can take care of others and support bands like Silver Fang. Thank you guys so very much. Audiva, love this. Guys, have a good one. Be seeing you around.